Today I'm going to be talking about what is the soul, or what is the spirit. Now we use the soul and spirit and we reference my soul, my spirit. But what part of us is soul? What part of us is spirit? And what knowledge do we have of this part? Now if I was to ask most people what their soul is, they wouldn't be able to identify it. They wouldn't be able to acknowledge their soul within. They would make it other. Now we're all living souls, we're all living spirits. We are more soul or more spirit than we are flesh, than we are human. In fact, this body that we exist within is a very limited part of us, a very limited time frame to which this body becomes a vehicle for spirit, for soul. But most of us live in such a heavy density, such a heaviness of life. We're so completely identified with the body, that I am this body, so completely identified with this mind, I am this mind, so completely identified with these emotions, I am these emotions, that the body and the mind become, they're almost false spirit, false soul into this one pointed location that we call my body. And so in this existence, when the veil comes down over our eyes, the veil being between our body and our spirit, we find that life becomes very dense and very heavy. We become contained within life. We become contained within the body. We become contained within this existence. And then knowledge of spirit, or knowledge of our soul, becomes completely lost. We lose the ability to know ourselves beyond the physical body, to know ourselves beyond our mind. We lose the ability to recognize our soul, to recognize our spirit. Now there's a great reason for this veil that comes over us, that separates us, that forces us into this existence and shuts off our ability to recognize our soul. That part of us which is most true, that part of us which is the eternal part, the part that goes beyond the body, the part that will be recognized at the time of death once again. But that veil that comes down and separates body and soul, mind and soul, the veil creates the illusion of a separate self. The disconnection from our soul, from knowledge of soul, creates this personal illusion. This personal illusion becomes mind, body and emotions. This personal illusion becomes me. I am my mind, I am my body, I am my emotions. I only know this existence and know nothing beyond this existence. That is the illusion. And it's that illusion, that veil of separation, that creates the magnificence of this heavy, dense reality. Now your soul, or your spirit, however you wish to refer to it, in its truth, in its entirety, is complete. is wholeness, is oneness. There is no separation in the unity of your spirit, of your soul. There is no separation in it. And so for your soul to truly know itself, for your soul to realize itself, for you to have the ability to recognize the unity from which you come from, that veil of a personal sense of self serves a great purpose. Because through that veil of the personal sense of self, when you begin to awaken, that personal sense of self gives the contrast between the illusion of who you believe yourself to be and the truth of who you truly are. So as you begin to awaken and you begin to taste the unity, as you begin to become aware of the oneness, as you begin to become aware of your soul, once again, you have this divide between the two. You have the personal sense of self, which is based in separation and isolation and fear. And then you have the soul, which is based in expansion, in unconditional love, in unconditional joy, in unconditional peace. And so the veil that separates between serves the greatest purpose because it gives you the ability to realize what you truly are. And because your soul resides in oneness, this is how oneness begins to experience itself through the veil of separation. This is how the intelligence of the infinite, however you wish to describe it, God, oneness, infinite, the state of being, life, whichever word you wish to use to describe it, this is how it experiences itself. So when you begin to awaken, when you begin to realize your soul, when you begin to connect back to the unity, this separate person begins to truly serve you. Now most of us are living completely identified with this personal sense of self. This very heavy, very dense existence where there is no knowledge of anything else, where most of us are not looking externally, where most of us are not looking internally, not questioning anything going on within. Not realizing that everything that we seek is within. Love, peace and unity are within. They're within your nature. But one has to begin to realize this. And to begin to realize this, you start to begin the process of realizing that veil, realizing that separate sense of self, realizing that personal perspective. Begin to challenge that, begin to question that, begin to look into that. By shifting your focus from an external focus to an internal focus. By using the practice of mindfulness and meditation. By using the practice of questioning your painful thoughts and beliefs and associations. By beginning to question the vow itself. Beginning to question who you believe yourself to be. Beginning to question why you think the way you think. Beginning to awaken to how you feel. beginning to awaken to the thought processes that make you feel in a certain way, beginning to identify the painful beliefs that create painful emotion. Emotion is a very important indicator to awakening. Negative emotion contracts, and anything that contracts, that creates negativity, is out of alignment. Anything that expands, that brings about joy, that brings about creativity, is moving in a way of expansion. So contraction and expansion also begin to serve a purpose to that which is moving towards spirit and that which is moving away from spirit. But this heavy density serves a great purpose, and the veil, the personal sense of self, serves the greatest purpose, because it's through the veil of the personal sense of self that God, life, spirit, soul gets to taste, gets to realize itself.